Well, welcome to the new year. I hope it was a beautiful holiday transition. We went through winter's solstice, so transition to kind of this new season in which we're actually experiencing some cold here on the West Coast. Surprise, surprise. But it's lovely because when it gets cold, it kind of inspires us to go in, and going in sometimes invokes us going deeper. And going deeper is where one might encounter the feminine. And if one goes even deeper than that, one can invoke the flow of the divine feminine. I'm getting a lot of messaging right now about how badly we need to bring forth not only the I am, but the divine feminine aspects of this oneness that we encounter when we're in deep meditation or in nature or in a group of fellow celebrants that are connected to each other through love. So it's a beautiful time of year. And I, for one, am really happy to be being escorted into 2024. Many beautiful things about 2023, but it was a time of a lot of challenge energetically for so many beings. And there's always this promise in the new year, because we make it so, because we adhere to time, space, and counting it and marking it. But there is also, a change in how we perceive the world through the sun. The sun is beginning to bring its light back to us a little bit more each day. It's kind of an interesting phenomena, where winter, where we think of that cold and going in, is actually the time where the sun is finding its way back up in the sky. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the sun right now. And I know that, and I've witnessed in myself and other people around me, that there's been some challenges for people, physical, energetic, emotional, etc. And when I went in to kind of connect with my various sources of information or various sources of influence, I was told that the sun itself is going through some kind of transition. One only needs to see the news and to check in with it, and it has really put out a lot of very powerful solar flares, particularly I think around the very first of the year. And even before that, there was a picture that I saw of the sun, where it really had almost a magnetic opening in it. It was almost like a chasm that showed up that they were able to photograph. So there was a particular moment where I woke up one day and my hip was actually, I woke up in the middle of the night, my hip felt like, oh my gosh, I need a hip replacement. And that was on the first day of working in the year. And I think I recognized that I hadn't done anything. And so I knew that there was an energetic aspect to this. And so what do I do? And what I'm going to encourage you to do when you go through something that feels big, a challenge, you ask yourself, what's really happening on the quantum? What's really happening? And the process of healing this particular phenomena, that's what I'm going to call it, because it was not an injury, it was a phenomena. So I'm going to say New Year's night, and the next day, I couldn't find a comfortable place to lay in bed. Let's just say that I couldn't find any comfortable position without it really feeling quite flared up. And so what do? I go quantum. And so this is where I started getting information. And I realized that we're all, in a way, connected to the sun and to the central spiritual sun, because we're on an evolutionary path to evolve, to accelerate our evolution and to ascend. And the sun itself is in that same pathway. It's just, and so the interesting thing is, I don't remember all that happened, but it's so at one point, and this is the last point, and this was, this is work I always have to do in the middle of the night. In addition to, feeling or sensing that there was some things that really wanted to stop me and taking my next steps and dealing with that, I was also shown the waveform of the whole cosmos. And so we look out, just as we look out our windows now, and I'm seeing a tree and some sky and some neighborhood and things like that. That's a time-space projection. And you can't see it or know it because we're so in it until you get to a state of observing. But what I was shown was a complete waveform that was somewhat gridded. And this was the cosmos, actually. So, although the world is not flat, according to some theorists, conspiracy theorists out there, what I could tell was what is, in a sense, all this amazing, amazing depth that we perceive through these. I mean, look at this picture, even that we're looking at right there. It's just absolutely incredible. And each one of those little dots that you're seeing is a galaxy. And we know our Milky Way galaxy is immense. It's just absolutely immense, absolutely. And our little solar system is, inside of that. So the immensity of this projection is only to aspire to begin to understand the wonder of that which is possible, that which is a gift to us. I consider this whole cosmos a gift of expression and beauty and a track. Now, I want to tell you one other thing that I was told. And I took it very seriously. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what was told to me because it was quite alarming. But the intonation was that the struggles that we experience here on the planet in regards to the feminine, not only us personally, and, kind of, the imbalance, shall we say, I'm going to say in physical strength, up until maybe recently, between the male and female gender, and how women have been subjugated to desires and wants of males that they didn't want. Let's just put it as softly as we can. Very harsh thing. And then you look, and then you see, let's see the workplace and how the imbalance there. And then you go even further and you look at domination. And of course, most of those that are doing harm in the world are men, either by their choice to to, and to criminalize themselves or to be engaged in war. Yes, there are women in the army, et cetera, but if you look at the predominance throughout the world, the men are wielding these weapons. So we have something here, and then you go beyond that, and you look at the whole way that the world is set up. It's very patriarchal, and not only are women subjugated, but men are subjugated too if they don't have the wealth. And wealth used to be $1 million, and now it's multi-billion. So there's a real escalation in this, and we view it and we nod our heads and say, what can we do? And this is maybe perhaps why we're called to meet. But what I'm going to tell you is that as below, so above. It's hard for us to even for a second conceptualize what is going on in not only the realms out there that we see, but the dimensions, the planets, the systems. We can't even begin. And sometimes there are those that have been contacted by beings that have kind of given some insight into other worlds and their dimensions. And by other worlds, I mean, we live in a multiverse. We live in one version, one channel. That channel can be changed. Certainly, people are investigating this through shamanic journeying or using plant medicine, those kind of things. And these other worlds look very real, sometimes as real as this one. So we keep all that in mind. We keep all that in mind. And I'm going to tell you that once I was shown that waveform, it was almost like I was just taken out. I was in the cosmos, and then I was taken to the side of it, and I could see the waveform. And there was kind of a little bit of an aha. By the next morning, I woke up, and my hip was, I don't know, 80% better. And then I went and taught a yoga class, and then I went and swam, and I got out of the pool, and it was 98%. So I went from being absolutely sure I needed a hip replacement, and in 2 days, going through this journey, through the quantum, through asking, through guidance, through using whatever tools that I had, and getting to the other side. And I understand now, what this hip represented. And it's hard to even put into words. Those words are there for you as well. But what I'm saying is, what I want to offer to you is that whatever you're going through in life, there is a definite possibility that you can observe, find a way through these tools that I've been sharing with you, find a way to become the observer and pull away from your situation, because we get very involved in our pain, whether it be psychological or physical or situational or even mental or deep spiritual gestalt angst. We get enthralled and involved with it because it feels so, it registers so true for us. And I'm going to say that even in my practice, a lot of what's happening there is by agreement on the quantum. I have established over 40 years agreements that if I do X, Y, and Z, this is going to be the result. And it is over and over again. And I recognize that. So I want to empower you to look and observe beyond what is maybe holding you back, or what is plaguing you or what is, something that you're not resolving. I want you just to go, okay, somehow I have to find my way to a point of observation, or I have to find my way into what we call the 5D realm, which is here. And I'm going to tell you, that is another very powerful thing that happened over this holiday. Is again, in the middle of the night, I was taken through an experience, and there has been a time split. It is here. This, which has been foretold from native cultures around the world, and then certain energy seers, et cetera. It's happened. We look around and we go, oh my gosh, yes, it still feels very real. But there are going to be states that you're in. There are going to be states that you're in, and we're going to go, oh. And I think I shared this. So I'm going to repeat it. There may be one or two people who haven't heard this, but I went to a ceremony that was multicultural and multi-spiritual approaches. And there was, I don't know, there was probably 100 people in the room. And my friend led a beautiful invocation through the four directions. And it was very beautifully, beautifully inclusive and shamanic. And then we sat down, and then she said a few more words. And then all of a sudden I heard myself say, without really thinking I should say this, I just heard love, love, love. Heard myself say that. And it just love, love, love. And all of a sudden, eyes closed, but the whole room behind me turned 5D. I went, oh, okay. Here's an opportunity for me to hold this for this room. And so I go, I agree. And you could see almost as if it was a crystalline overlay to all the beings, beautiful beings that were sitting behind me. So I realized that we are the bridges. Simple way to bridge. Love, love, love. You say it when you most need it. You say it when you most don't feel it. You say it when you're embroiled. Love, love, love. And maybe you have to say it 20 times. And the second bridge is I am. And if you go back, I think it's 2 or 3 times back on the sharings on YouTube, we did a whole exploration of a very strong part of the I am feminine. And the first place of that, which is something so interesting to me, I feel like I was taught in some ways that the male part of ourselves is very active and giving, and the feminine is very receptive. So that's the right side and the left side. But how many women do you know that are way more givers than receivers? Including you. Especially if you're in a job or you have a family, but give. And we forget that there is this very beautiful, powerful thing to receiving. So part 4, if I'm counting in all of this, is I am a place to receive, or you could just say, I am here. And you, or I am open. But the I, capital A, capital M, is a thing rather than a condition. So here's not a verb, it's a noun. A place to receive is a noun. There's not a perfect one word that I've found yet. I have been sitting with it because I aspired to create a deck of the I ams. I've already started the process. So I am a place to receive. Try that on right now. I am a place to receive wisdom. I am a place to receive love. I am a place to receive downloads. I am a place to receive guidance. And then things. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to give a gift to someone. They're like, oh no. And I just look at them. Oh, no, no, no. I'll pay for that. I'm like, why? This is your chance to be, I am feminine here. And I've really, really learned. If someone gives me a gift, I just thank you so much. I take it in so graciously. And I know that it's a physical representation of love. And that is the quantum. We don't always sense or feel it, but it is the unifying force. I am a place to receive. Try it on again. Now, part 5 and all of this is in these open networks that I engage in. And I'm going to say the sense that I have is that there is a collection of intelligences, which I just heard the word superior council. I don't want to put any, place or things or dimensions to it. It just, and so in that conversation, there is this first that as below, so above, as above, so below, this interchange. And it's time for us to really individually open to that on a day-by-day lesson and a day-by-day level. Like, okay, what's up for today? What has to reconfigure in my reality structure, brain, thought forms, depth psychology, ancestral history, whatever. What has to restructure today so that I'm more of who I am and more of I am? And you get really interesting. I do. I'm going to say you too. You get really interesting things that will appear. And sometimes it comes this way, and sometimes it'll come from the density world. It could be a phone call. It could be an email, a gift, an exchange with someone in a grocery store. You just got to be open. The other thing is, I was told it's time to corroborate, meaning as above, so below, as below, so, and understand that so that that empowers us somehow, but also to collaborate, healing this, healing that, healing that, healing this. And out of that, to be able to move through our lessons in 2 days or 3 days. But it takes, you have to surrender victimhood. You have to surrender being at effect. You have to align with effect. And that is the I am. The I am is all. The I am is this. The I am is actually expressing through this vehicle right here. And I'm influencing it right at this very moment by these words. If there were 10,000 beings that suddenly went, I am, and got it because it's something I said, there'd be a huge shift in the world. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen today. I have intentionality around that. We'll see how that all works out. However, I do my part. I'm asking you to do your part. One I am at a time. And so one of the things that I've been doing now, I've been very wrapped up in finishing my book, which is finished. I'll tell you more about that later. But details. But there are, a number of these I ams that are accessible to us. I like this one. I am the fire to express. You know what that is? It's like saying I am energy. Beside that energy, I am the fire to express. Another really beautiful one is I am free to be. I am freedom. I am freedom. I am freedom. What if today, click, you were free? Very, very evocative thought. Free. I am trust in the all. I am trust. And trust is a little shaky for us sometimes because we trust people and they don't always come through, and then sometimes harm comes. So trusting in the all is an alignment, is it not? I am trust. It's an alignment. When you fully trust in this, and we do this direction because we have a sense of up and down here. And we know that energy is moving. I move, evolution is moving in a spiral up. It's going clockwise. That's how I've been shown. That's how I perceive it. To have that trust in the all, and many spiritual and religious practices, encourage this. Trust in God, trust in God, trust in God. To me, sometimes God is a bit evocative of a description of the all that's masculine. So sometimes I use the all or the oneness instead. And so if someone really feels strongly about that word, yes. Some are very aligned with more of a goddess frequency. Another one is I am power. I am power. But I'm making these a little more descriptive, even though they're just single words, because there is an example here on the planet of power over, and money is power, and possession is power, and office is power. whether it be corporate or government. Power, I got power. I can make, I can have things be the way I want them or I think they should be. But power from within is very feminine. It's what really moves creation, is that power from within. And I was first introduced to this in the Castaneda books. And Don Juan would say to Carlos, power from within really comes from women. And he was like, Don Juan always had his, he had his circle of 8 women because he knew their power. And he was, and as the story goes, training them to be that power from within. And we will look at one more because I am love. And love means so many things in the vernacular and in density. From loving your favorite dish to loving the person who's your favorite dish, right? But love is a force that for us is an instant, can be an instant bridge to 5D. It's a gift to us. Love, love, love. Okay, things that I needed to share with you. You are also beauty. You are also joy, as your I am feminine. And we'll investigate a little bit more of this over our sojourn over the next month. And I encourage you every day, if you can remember, to pick an I am for the day. Some of the I ams are going to challenge your configuration, and you're going to have lessons that come up, and stay with it because you get to the other side and you know that more on a deeper level, and you will have reflections of that from density and healing and influence. You'll be quantum influencers, right? That's why we're here, to be quantum influencers. Okay, so let's take the next few moments. Close your eyes. And intend to connect with the field that we are as the IC. And then remember this and repeat after me. I am immortal. I am eternal. as the one, I am one. And as the one, I am love. And then allow yourself to drop into that sacred truth. It's a shift in agreement. I am love. As the one, I am love. Align with this truth. I am one. And now, if you would be so kind, capture an aspect of your life. It could be your home, it could be your job. And eyes closed, say the same thing. I am one. I am one with the one. I am love. Choose one or all of those. And infuse that which you choose to perceive with that frequency. And see if you can imagine gradually shifting over to the 5D world, infused behind the molecules, the appearance of molecules with light, upgraded 5D crystalline light. And choose your I am for the day. And like a beautiful projector, stream it through the day that is forthcoming. Beautiful. And then with power, trust, and strength, we say, I am beauty, the beauty of the oneness. I am the beauty. I am beauty itself. And bring that into the core of your being. Claim it. It's very important that we do. And then gently bringing your attention back to our world that we look out at on this beautiful morning or afternoon. Bring this with you into the new year. It's very powerful. There's so much to learn and experience in this time split. We have the possibility of being the bridge. But if you have to choose, make the big choice and hold space in that realm. And sometimes that means that you hear and see things in this that are very discouraging. And sometimes those are things that you cannot influence. But there is an ascension path happening for many on this planet. And we want to offer love, fuel, encouragement, empowerment to anyone and everyone, including yourself, on that path. And it's so beautiful when you have an opportunity to empower somebody else. I know you've all experienced that in one way or the other. It's just ugh, power from within coming forth to empower another being. And the beings sometimes are not human. They're creatures. And sometimes those creatures empower us. And that's the stories I tell in Tales of the Miraculous, TAILS. So I hope you all have a gorgeous week. Namaste. I'm believing that we have a new moon coming up or a full moon coming up sometime. So I'll be looking into that and sending out something. But until then, we'll hopefully get to meet and be with each other at the beginning of the week next week in time space.